Today, I want to talk about muddy roads, or maybe even worse, manure covered roads. And I want to talk to farmers and those that work on farms about this issue because it's actually kind of an important issue. It can actually be a significant liability issue for farmers. And right before I got to it, so of course I drove through it in my vehicle, which was annoying, but I understand that stuff happens. But it made me think because I've been involved in cases, not necessarily with manure, but more so with mud. And mud is just one of those things that is difficult to control, especially in the spring and the fall. You know, you're out doing field work, planting, things like that in the spring, bringing tractors in, drive back out on the road, and the mud that's in the lugs on the tires can tend to flop out, ends up on the road. Or maybe during the summer when you're chopping hay, you're bringing choppers in and out, wagons, semis, trailers, things like that in and out, and you can very quickly bring dirt and mud onto the road. So that's kind of one thing, is recognize that you could be Number one, you could be cited. You could get a ticket if you don't do a good job of cleaning up the dirt or mud on the roadways. And if you don't do it quickly enough, you could also be legally liable, and you don't want other people to get hurt. So, if someone does get hurt because they crash or motorcycle loses control because of it, you don't want that to happen. And you can obviously be legally responsible for that. And then when they do happen, do your best to clean it up and warn people if it happens. Warn people and clean it up as quickly as possible. Check with your insurance agent and find out what kind of coverage you have and if there's coverage that you can add for those kinds of situations, because the last thing that you want is to have something like this happen and find out for whatever reason that you don't have insurance protection, and then suddenly someone is looking at your farm to pay their damages. First of all, it can be very annoying to people to drive through it, and it can be unsafe for people, motorcyclists especially, going through manure can be very, very dangerous to them. And manure may be treated differently under the law. And the other thing to keep in mind is manure shouldn't be on the road the way that mud is, because if manure ends up on the road, it means you overloaded. You overloaded your manure spreader, or maybe you didn't close the gate properly or whatever, and you have less excuse for spilling manure on the roadway than you do dirt and mud.